in a while. What would you kind of describe what this moment was like for you to kind of be able to have a pick six and lead your team to victory?
Yeah, I think it's a great moment for our defense. Ultimately, probably one of our better games is defense. 3 takeaways. I thought that was really important and led us to the victory.
Take us through what you saw and felt the moment on the pick six.
Yeah, just reading the QB's eyes. Ultimately, he threw it to me and just going to make a play.
Take you back to the Cal game. Was that one of the toughest moments or games that you've had in your athletic career? And what was it like responding during the bye week in the Big Ten play?
Yeah, just you got to respond each and every week, each and every play. You're gonna have a bad play here and there. Just you got to respond each and every play.
Anthony, talk to me about playing such an elusive quarterback. He was hard to contain.
Yeah, he was up. Yeah, we knew coming in the game that we had to contain the quarterback, and you get in the game and things happen. You got to respond for them. But you give credit to him. He's a really good quarterback. He's really elusive in the pocket and going outside the pocket. So, but again, we just kept on responding and we adjusted at halftime and made things happen.
Corey, what was your reaction when you saw Drake get that 4th down run?
About time Drake get on his legs now. No, Drake's an elite QB, and ultimately he led that in the end. When we needed it most, if it's with his arm or his legs, he's going to get it done. Got all the respect for him.
Touching on Drake, he says that he tells you every game you're going to get a pick six. When you hear something like that, and kind of is that a thought that you have as well, kind of an expectation for yourself to make plays like that every game?
I just try to do my job each and every week, whatever my job is that week. Try to help my defense any way I can, each and every week.
What was your perspective on Carey's Superman diving interception there?
Carey's elite, man. I mean, what a ball player he is. Really sparks the defense. Each and every week he comes to work. Just an elite human, elite person on and off the field. Carey Brown, man.
Courtney, I feel like you were just about ready to break one of those returns because it almost seemed like you were a tackle away from.
Just try to improve on the return game each and every week. Ultimately, then that's on me. I got to break more tackles. We do an elite job blocking up front. Just got to do a better job.
Anthony, there are a lot of ebbs and flows in this game. What do you think helped keep the team just chipping away and continuing to make adjustments as the game went on?
Just our resiliency. We come to the sideline, we respond to things, we make adjustments. At the sideline, the guys that aren't even playing, we come to the sideline, they're encouraging. I think that's one of the biggest things. That when I come to the sideline, I'm going to get my checks, and I'm Kasai or I got Steven Curtis on the sideline telling me, hey, use your hands here, use your hands there. And then you see the DBs, you see the linebackers all coming together and being there for each other, never putting their head down. So I think that's the thing that really helped us out tonight is the resiliency on the field, and even the guys that were on the sideline, that was really special.
When Jameson got his touchdown that tied it up, what was your guys' thoughts right then?
I almost did a backflip. I was so happy. Again, it's so exciting to see the offense play their game. Again, seriously, they're a bunch of guys that play so hard, and they go and practice, and they practice that way. So, again, just seeing everything pay off for them is just super huge for us and the whole entire team.
Any more for Coy, Anthony? All right,
Thank you, guys.
Similar or different about tonight's need for a comeback?
Yeah, I think we started slow in both games, which we got to clean up and be better. But I think we did a good job in Rutgers. Second, third quarter, executing well. And tonight, I don't feel like we executed from quarter 1 to 3 very well. We had some little strays here and there that got us going, but I think we got to do a better job as a whole executing. But the fourth quarter and that drive, that's where you find out who you are as a team. Your leaders got to really step up. And you got to get it done. And I think we did a really good job being gritty. And we were put in some tough situations like that 4th and 2, a lot of those situations where you got to go get it and you got to trust on your teammates and just go be that guy. And I really, really enjoyed my teammates out there, looked them in all their eyes. And those are the ones that, you got to go get. It was a tough, hard game that sometimes they're hard to win, and you don't always play your best. But you come out with a victory. That's always the best thing.
Drake, could you go through that 4th down run, what you saw and how you pulled it off?
Yeah, we had a little play-action pop pass, and when I motioned him over, I could tell it was going to be off. So I had thought, you know, if it's not open, I'm going to have to scramble and make something happen. And I thought I'd be to the field attempting to throw the ball, but they played it really good and everything was shut down. So I just saw one-on-one at the boundary and just liked my leverage and made a little play with the ball and then got the first down.
Rick, anything in particular in those first 3 quarters, you guys were kind of out of sync, and I don't know, was it the pass rush, or was there any different coverage, or can you pinpoint anything?
Yeah, I think they did a really good job, you know, doing a ton of different looks that you don't always see on film, because usually, you know, when you're watching film, they're always going to bring something new, because you're watching the past. Then when you get to Saturday, there's always going to be something new. And I think they did a really good job. You know, I have a lot of respect for Coach Odom. It's one of my good family friends, and their DC is really good as well. And then a few of their players I'm close with. And they did a really good job all night, you know, mixing up looks, making everything look the same. And that's challenging as an offense when you're going against that. But, you know, I think we just have to do a better job controlling us, controlling the controllables and going one play at a time and executing what we can.
Jameson, what do you think went into execute the screens well tonight? It felt like that was a big component of the game, especially with, you know, how aggressive the rush was.
Yeah, when you play a team like Purdue that does a lot of line games and they do a lot of movement up front with the D-line, it makes it really hard sometimes to get all of them blocked and, you know, to take advantage of some of their games. I think that the coaches did a really good job with the scheme, designing some of those screen plays, and just getting the ball in our playmakers' hands. Darius, Lemecki, like those guys are unbelievable, and you know, getting them out in space is really exciting to watch, and it makes it fun to go out and block for them. But yeah, I mean, playing the D-line as active as them, it can be really difficult sometimes in the run game. So I think changing it up and, you know, making them have to respect that the screen game is important, I think was really important today.
Jameson, what was the mood in the huddle as you guys are behind late in the fourth quarter?
Well, I think as leaders, I think Drake and, you know, a lot of the guys were really optimistic. Like, we know, hey, we're not going to get that many possessions left. Like, it's time to go and, you know, just flush everything else. Like, it's an imperfect game. And, you know, some things weren't going our way. Purdue was making a lot of good plays on defense, and I think they were making it challenging for us. And we just went out there and just, like Coach said, we had to do the little things right, and we just had to execute every play. And that led to, I think it was like 17 plays to go down there and score. You know, I think that's something we need to develop and, you know, build on, is sustaining drives and, you know, taking the ball down the field. And I think just putting it in Vi's hands is, you know, you can see that's where the plays are made. So I'm really proud of him and proud of our coaches and our players to go out there, you know, when we needed to get it done and execute when it mattered.
Jameson, could you take us through your touchdown, what you saw there, and how that play developed?
Yeah, so me and Bibbs were over there in power pair, and yeah, it was just kind of sealing the DN so that Drake could get the edge. And then I was just kind of running out into the flat. And, you know, I kind of felt that I was maybe going to be able to get the ball. So I just sprinted out there, and then once Drake threw it to me, like, I knew I was right there. So all I needed to do was get a yard or two. And, you know, it's just going out there and making plays when it matters. And, you know, Drake having the trust in me to go get it. And, you know, having him being able to put a good ball and execute. So that was really fun to be out there with the guys and celebrate with my teammates.
Drake, talk about your coordination with Lemecki. You guys make some big plays out there, and it seems to be a guy you can find wherever he is.
Yeah, I think with Lemecki, he's just so reliable. I think he's always going to be in the spot he has to be, no matter how he has to get there. If the look changes post-snap, he's really, really smart and sees the defense very well. I mean, that's quarterback's dream when a guy's thinking the same way as you. So I think he's done a really good job developing in that area, and the conversations we've had have really grown for us to have that connection.
Drake, what were some of the issues in the run game tonight?
You know, I think they did a lot of things up front that were challenging. You know, moving, like, you know, like splitting and crossing each other with the D-line was pretty wild up front. And they were bringing a lot of different zone pressures that we hadn't seen, and they were doing a really good job disguising it. So when that's the case, and you can't always get us into the right run, I could say. I mean, I did a poor job and a few times getting us in the better run. But at the end of the day, we gotta get better.
Drake, I know you're close with Clay from the low of Cal to the high of today, how do you kind of look at what he's been through to kind of redeem himself a little bit?
Yeah, I knew it would come eventually. I mean, he stays the course. I mean, I actually told him today in the locker room, I was like, you're going to get a pick six. Like, I say that usually every week, but it finally came true. And when it happened, I was super excited, and I didn't know who it was at first, and then I saw on the Jumbotron it was Coy. So, I mean, he's a warrior. He works so hard, and his mindset's one of the best I've seen, and I mean, he's so confident in himself and his teammates. So, I mean, when you have a guy like that who just, after a kick return, when it's out of the end zone, he's running over there trying to hype us up, get us ready to go. When you have a guy like that on defense, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome to have.
Drake, you saw a lot of different flavors of defense, through the first few weeks here. How much fun is it for you to conquer those challenges week to week and then kind of file away the knowledge you have for future games?
Yeah, I think it's really good. We played a lot of challenging defenses and really good DCs, and I think when you go back and reflect on each and one, you gotta remember looks and remember things that defenses do. Because at the end of the day, football it's a sound game. So when you see something, like Max always told me, things are on a string. So when things are twisting, people are coming. There's going to be something happening behind it, or someone pressuring. So I think just keep looking back on the games we've played and do that from there.
Any more for Drake or Jameson? All right, thank you guys.
There you go.
Thanks.